So today, we're diving into a story that's about way more than just a software update. This is about a true music legend, Fender, making a really bold move, one that could actually change how we all make music. For decades, we've thought of Fender as the very start of the musical chain. But with their brand new software, Fender Studio Pro 8, they're asking this exact question. What really happens when the company that pretty much defined the electric guitar sound decides, hey, let's build the entire studio around it? And this slide, it really shows you just how big of a shift we're talking about. Fender was the place the sound began. Now, they're aiming to be right there with you for the whole creative ride. And this didn't just come out of nowhere, right? This follows them buying PreSonus back in 2021, which brought some serious recording know-how right under the Fender roof. Okay, let's get into their surprising next chapter. Because, and let's be clear about this, what Fender has done here is a fundamental reset, not just another simple version upgrade. So the first big clue that this is a major reset is the installation itself. Fender Studio Pro 8 doesn't just write over your old software. Nope, it installs as a completely new application. And that's a deliberate choice. It keeps all your old projects totally safe while giving Fender a clean slate to build for the future, without being held back by old code. And what this really means is you're stepping into software that's been designed from the ground up with one key assumption. Your home studio is the main studio. This is not some stripped-down version of a big-time professional setup. It's a purpose-built creative space for today's independent creator. Of course, you can't launch new software in this day and age without talking about AI. But Fender's approach here is really specific, and I think really smart. They're framing it as a helpful studio assistant that serves your creative ideas, not some robot producer that's trying to take over your song. They're actually calling it practical AI. And the whole philosophy is right there in the name. It's about tech that helps you out, that translates your ideas into new forms, but it never, ever writes them for you. The only goal here is to reduce the friction, the annoying stuff, between the idea in your head and the finished track. Let's look at a perfect example of this in action, the new Extract Notes feature. It's so beautifully simple. You record an audio part, let's say it's a guitar riff. The AI listens, it analyzes the pitches, and boom. Just like that, it spits out a brand new track with fully editable MIDI data. Now you can swap in a synth, fix a bum note, or totally rearrange the melody, all without having to re-record a single thing. And what this AI doesn't do is just as important. It is not going to auto-mix your song. It's not going to write lyrics or melodies for you out of thin air. It interprets and it assists. It doesn't create. Your creative decisions stay right where they belong, with you. Okay, so how does all of this tech actually feel when you're in the middle of making music? Well, Fender has clearly obsessed over a workflow that feels musical, one that keeps you in that creative zone with a lot less clicking and a lot more creating. And a huge part of that feeling is finally bringing Fender's legendary sound right into the box. With Mustang Native and Rumble Native, you get a whole arsenal of classic Fender amp and effect models. And these aren't just generic plugins. Think of them as direct software descendants of their famous hardware, all designed to give you mix-ready, instantly usable tones right away. This philosophy, this way of thinking, it even extends to their new effects. Take the new Studio Verb. It has this really cool, unique ping function. You click it, and it sends a short, sharp burst of sound through the reverb so you can actually hear the space. It's all about helping you shape reverb with your ears, instead of just staring at numbers and guessing. And it all comes together in these kinds of streamlined features. You get this amazing bird's eye view of your whole song structure. You can see a track's entire signal chain at a glance. And the core stuff, like recording and editing vocals, is just smoother than ever. It's all about ripping out the technical roadblocks so you can just stay in that creative flow. But really, when you add all of these features up, they're all pointing to one single powerful idea. The biggest, most important feature in Fender Studio Pro 8 isn't on any list. It's the philosophy of ownership. This is so much more than software. It's a statement. It starts right here. When you own your tools, you control your time. You decide when inspiration hits and when it becomes action. You are not waiting around for studio time to open up or for anyone else's permission to just create. And from there, you learn to own your workflow. And what that means is you stop chasing whatever's trendy and you start building a consistent, sustainable system for making your best work again and again and again. And when you own your tools and you own your workflow, guess what? You own your masters. Your finished songs are not just files, they are valuable assets, assets that you control, that you can license, and that you can make a living from, all on your own terms. And this is what it all leads to. Owning your tools, your workflow, and your masters, that is how you own your future. It's the absolute foundation for building a long-term, independent career in music. Ultimately, it boils down to this single, powerful idea. The music industry loves to sell the dream of exposure, but exposure without control is fleeting. Real sustainability, a real career, it comes from ownership. And that's exactly why this move from Fender is so significant. When a legacy brand, an icon like Fender, invests this heavily in tools for independent creators, it sends a crystal clear message. It validates the home studio, not as some little stepping stone, but as the new creative and commercial center of the music industry. Which leaves all of us with one final thought to chew on. Fender is clearly betting that it is. The real question is, are they right? Is the future of music something that's going to be built song by song right from a home studio?